Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, Kal Halal. All praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakah Kodash Brakatham. Double honors shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims of Great Millstone and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. Shalom to the sincere Aquats who are continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. And also shalom to the true believers and subscribers of this true gospel, for this should be considered a true blessing from the higher power. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. Slakia. All right, so what we have going on here is Babylon is bankrupt. So that's the name of my video for today, Abaratazah. Slakia. Babylon is bankrupt. It's broke. It is really flat ass broke. All right. So I'm going to try to make this a quick video, but to the point. So what you got here is Jay Reed, the ultimate Babylonian sympathizer. That's what I call him. And his video is titled, "The United States is Going Bankrupt and It's Scary. Here's why." So, of course, for him, it's scary. All right? It's scary for him, but for the like of myself and the other 1/3 of the hopeful elect, nope. It's going right on schedule. It's right on schedule, okay? So this is about over an 8-minute video long, so I'll play it in its entirety. But before I do so, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act. For this video, strictly for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off this video. So once the video is complete, put up powerful precepts to support what's going on. All right, so let's go.
He bankrupted the country in 14 months. The U.S. Treasury has now confirmed that the United States is insolvent. So in 14 months, he took a profitable country that was standing on its own 2 feet and made it so dependent on everybody else, but yet nobody's coming to his aid. So the $1 billion a day to fight a war that he wedged his fat ass in the middle of because of his buddies over in the blue country is costing the taxpayers $1 billion a day that we don't have. We couldn't afford health care for the people of this country, but yet we have $1 billion a day to go to a war that nobody wanted. We couldn't afford to give kids free lunch in schools, but yet we have $1 billion a day to fight a war that's not actually going to profit or benefit the United States in any way. And that's exactly what he's done. He has bankrupted 6 companies. He has bankrupted 3 casinos, and he has caused harm and chaos in every single venture that he's ever taken, and he always goes bankrupt and then leaves everybody else to pay his tab. And that's exactly what he's doing right now, because while we're all sitting here wondering how we're going to pay our rent, our electric, and our food all in the same month because we can't live off of our paychecks anymore, because we don't make enough anymore, He's sitting there cashing checks that our asses have to cash. And I know that I could be bottom, but it doesn't mean that I want the whole world to be taking a piece.
Now, he said something at the beginning of this video that I had to go back and fact check, of course. And he said the United States was profitable before, Trump came in office. And that's just physically not true, guys. The United States wasn't profitable. As a matter of fact, the United States hasn't been profitable for about 50 years now, at least on the bottom half. I mean, it has grown throughout the years, but, that's just the facts behind it. As a matter of fact, in 2024, we ran a $2 trillion deficit on the country as we speak. But yes, he is factual about the United States declaring itself to be insolvent as we speak. And even looking at the deficit of 2025, we still ran almost a $2 trillion deficit. And that number is projected to continue to grow as we go further into the years, guys. But yes, he is correct. We are spending billions of dollars a day for this situation and conflict overseas. And I don't see that anytime soon. And I'm sure a lot of these articles have come out because of those situations. But let's look at the facts of this situation, right? The America's mounting debt has long raised concerns. We've had this debt crisis for a long time. But the Treasury latest report reached a breaking point. They said we are now effectively insolvent. So if you don't know what insolvent means, let's define insolvent. Basically, that occurs when a person, business, or government cannot pay their debts as they come due, or when their total liabilities exceed total assets. It is a financial condition, not a legal status, indicating a debtor owes more money than they and cannot meet their financial obligations. Pretty much saying we're bankrupt. That is basically in other terms saying, hey, we're bankrupt right now. And to get the total numbers, let's dive deeper into the situation as to why they're saying it. Let's build more perspectives, right? And they said this is not a hyperbole, guys. This is just truly where we are. They said it excludes unfunded obligations tied to major social insurance programs like Social Security and Medicare. The 75-year social insurance obligation, the gap between projected spending and revenues, it jumped by $10 trillion in the past fiscal year to $88 trillion. And the official balance sheet and total obligations would exceed $136 trillion. Right? These are the facts. I'm laying it out, and you can make your own perspective on it as we dive deeper into it. Of course, am I saying that Trump has no hand in this whatsoever? No, because we know a lot of things that have been going on within this country for the past couple of years. We know this. But in this situation, I gotta be honest and tell you, this has been going on for a long time. But at the same time, the government continues to spend far more than it brings in. In 2025, federal revenue totaled $524 trillion, while spending was $734 trillion, which I just gave you those numbers a little bit earlier. All right. To illustrate the scale, the authors shrinking the numbers by 8 zeros and viewing federal finances like a household budget in free fall. So let's put this in perspective, right? So basically, in the scenario, that household earns $52,000, but they spend $73,000, running a $20,000 annual deficit. Its total liabilities and unfunded promises amount to $1,300,000 against just $60,000 in assets, leaving $1.3 million in the hole. Oh my God, guys! Like this is bad. This is bad. Like I knew the deficit was bad, and I knew all of these different things were real, but I didn't know it was this bad, guys. Like seriously. And there's nothing that's slowing it down whatsoever. As a matter of fact, this conflict isn't doing anything but making it worse. And Trump's plan for all of this, he said that he was going to use tariffs. Tariffs were going to be the reason why we get out of this mess. That's what he said. He's going to use tariffs. He's going to eliminate the federal income tax. He was going to lower corporate taxes for the people at the top and all these different, billionaires and all these different things. He said he was going to lower taxes for, your everyday Americans. But, we have only seen no tax on overtime, no tax on tips or some of those pieces. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not really affecting these numbers. Hence why we saw the deficit on last year. But, as we dive deeper into it, right, despite a recent pullback, gold has climbed more than 45%, right? 401k has reached all-time highs. And does that really talk about the state of the government, the state of the economy? Not really. I mean, I guess we can factor in pieces of it. But when you have everyday Americans who are, dealing with these different things, like they're wondering when they're going to get their next paycheck. But let's also add a different perspective on this as well, guys. And I was curious, and I don't claim to know everything about anything, right? I always learn on the fly, and I'm learning and constantly taking in information about this situation. But what happens if the United States declares bankruptcy? That would trigger the largest depression in the history of the United States, and a massive collapse in the value of the dollar, soaring unemployment, extreme financial volatility with the sell-off in treasury bonds, and potentially severe civil unrest. Seriously, that's what it would be. That's what life would look like. That's what the government would look like. And that would be devastating for the Trump administration. But looks like it's happening much sooner than a lot of people thought it would be. Most people thought we would just be kicking this can down the road. We were just, that'll be 50 years down the line. We don't have to deal with it right now. We could try to say we put our part into it. We're going to say we did tariffs and we put our little hands in there and tried to fix it. But in reality, we didn't really fix anything. We just, make it sound good and make it sound like we're doing things versus actually making a dent on the situation, versus actually making progress and making decisions that are actually better for the country of the United States of America. But overall, in the grand summary of things, this is where we are as a country. I don't come on this to fearmonger or make you guys afraid of anything, or show you that you need to go and prepare and learn and go buy everything and stack up on total collapse. No, that's not what I want to come out and make you guys afraid of. No, that's not. But I just want you to understand the facts and the reality of where we are right now within this situation. It really is a virtual bubble that we're sitting on right now. And if this was to happen at any point in time, I mean, y'all see the numbers, y'all see what it is. This is what we are. And it's just education. That's truly what we are. I hope this is turning around some kind of way, but at this point, it doesn't seem like it. And that's the true, honest truth about the situation. But
This guy, he sound like that Amalek comedian Jerry Seinfeld. This is so sad. This is so devastating. Okay? But real talk, Jakes, listen up. All right? Esau wants to bankrupt this economy, point blank. He wants to do it, and he's going to do it. Why? Because he wants to usher in the digital ID, the CBDC, which will lead to that MOTB. All right, so sing along with me. CBDC MOTB. CBDC MOTB. Okay? That's what he wants to do. And the fact that this Trump, he's about to get another $200 billion for this war, I'm telling you, it's going to really exacerbate the thick clay, the heavy debts that Babylon is in. All right? So like I said, I wasn't going to make this video too long. Let's go to the precepts. And speaking of thick clay, I did a video on this subject a while back. Thick clay. All right? So Habakkuk 2:6, and it reads, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him? And who would this him be? Esau Edom, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." Woo! So that's what thick clay represents in this precept. Heavy debts. that Esau has incurred all these years. He cannot repay these heavy debts. So, like I mentioned, he wants to collapse the economy to do a reset and start up the digital ID, the CBDC, that's going to lead to that MOTB, that mark of the beast, that microchip, which is fastly approaching, you jakes. Jeremiah 51:8, and it reads, Babylon is suddenly falling and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, for it be, Slakia, for so be she may be healed. Here's the point, verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. And again, this is more of a spiritual thing than anything else. Spiritually flee this place because it's not going to be healed, okay? For her judgment reaching unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai has received the reports on the wickedness of Esau, Edom, and those Amaleks, okay? So they've reached the skies, reached the heavens. So now he's going to come down with ramifications and repercussions against Esau, Edom, mainly. So when we go to the book of Habakkuk, again, 2:1, it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I will answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, here's the point. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Woo! That's the vision that Habakkuk experienced. And it's yet for an appointed time, which is right now. This is the time now that these things must come to pass. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Woo! Hallelujah. So again, with Jay Reed, oh, this is so sad. This is so devastating. I don't want this to happen. And I'll say it over and over again with that dude. He's not a man of the elect. Absolutely not. He doesn't want these things to happen. All right? Salakia. And I'm pretty sure, like I said before about him, he goes kneel on the side of his bed every night and folds his hands and pray. Oh God, dear Lord, please let this not happen to me. No, let this not happen to us. No. Okay, well, you're wasting your time, bro. You're wasting your time. And for the rest of you jakes, the same apply. All right? I'll say it again. You cannot pray your way out of these things that's coming to pass. All right? Get ready for it. Because guess what? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And what does that mean? As far as not tarry, it's not going to stay still. is not going to stand still. These prophecies are going to go forth. All right? Henceforth, they're not going to stay still. All right? So again, this is a quick video. Hopefully edification was brought forth out of this. So with that being said, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Makakodash, Brakatam, Kwam, Yasharal, Rise Israel. And as always, Abba Ratazah, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom.